The role of counterculture is to wake up the mainstream.
I have furniture in you. Counterculture? Is that what you think this is? Your little show?
What about my show?
A show of racist.
Black people can't be racist. Prejudice, yes, but not racist. Racism describes a system advantage based on race. Black people can't be racist since we don't stand to benefit from such a system.
Your antics are making me racist.
Black people cannot be racist. Let me repeat that. Black people cannot be racist. To be racist, you must be prejudiced and you must wield institutional power. And although anyone in this country can be prejudiced, anyone can believe something negative about someone based on their race, whether you're black or white, you cannot be racist if you don't wield institutional power.
Racism presupposes the ability to control a significant segment of the population economically, politically, and socially by imposing law, covenant, and restriction on their lives. Black people ain't had no capacity to do that. Can we be bigoted? Yes. Can we be prejudiced? Yes. Racist? No. The unintelligence of the formulation is problematic when any black person says that.
The old rhetoric that continues its incessant implantation into the minds of young people. Black people cannot be racist. No more ignorant string of words has ever been consecutively recited. Please, do not take these words as hostile, as I once shared in spewing the same rhetoric to those that I am relative to. Ignorant to the detriment, until I learned to see things properly. Now, before I get started, I would like to say that the entire system of race is one of the most unscientific, ridiculously flawed systems to ever exist within a group of communal humans. The idea of race has no place in an advanced and highly intelligent society, as the mere concept of it is counterintelligent. But if we are going to allow ourselves to continue playing this rudimentary skin game, then this phrase is one that must be addressed. Black people cannot be racist. This statement is evidentiary of a complex system that has successfully programmed a socially engineered group of people into believing in their own inferiority. A unified admission that an entire group of people are unable to be anything is ridiculous in and of itself. To ignorantly state that this constructed and isolated group of people that has come to be known as black people cannot be racist is worth a shameful hanging of the head. In order to understand what I mean, we have to take a look at a few things closer. What is race? What is a racist? What does the word cannot mean? Let's start with the compound word can plus not. The word can is derived from the Middle English word kunan, which means know how to. Not is derived from the English word naught, which means zero or nothing. So cannot simply means zero knowing of how to, or not knowing how to. So in essence, the phrase black people cannot be racist is saying that the socially engineered, isolated, and constructed group of people known as black people do not know how to be racist. It does not seem to be such a phrase that people should be so eager to accept when it's put that way, does it? Good, because it should not. Let us continue. How many other nouns other than racist has the group of so-called black people or people of color been told that they are not allowed or have the ability to be? Replace racist with other nouns and see exactly how condescending the idea truly is. Black people do not know how to be doctors. How about black people do not know how to be president? Or maybe black people do not know how to be fathers, mothers, mayors, leaders. You see how ridiculous this sounds? Just as ridiculous as black people do not know how to be racist. Moving on. We must now ask, what is race, and ultimately, what is a racist? The term racist is the word race conjoined with the suffix ist. The lexicon shows that the word race is equivalent to the word group, which is a noun. When we pair the suffix ist with other nouns such as piano, organ, or bass, we get words like pianist, organist, or bassist. These words simply mean a person who has an interest, affinity for, or love for the piano, organ, or bass. So with that being said, a racist is simply someone who has an interest in, affinity for, or love for a particular race or group. It has nothing to do with the social power structure as so many of us have been led to believe. Now, history has taught us that what a person identifies as their group or race can change drastically over time. Early Africans did not identify themselves as a part of the same group, no more than a person from China or a person from Japan identified themselves as belonging to the same group. It was not until European influence and generational contributions and development of an idea that groups would be broken up into phenotype association that we began to see an attempt at homogenizing the African peoples, Asian peoples, and European peoples. Prior to the setting up of the skin game, Europeans did not automatically associate other Europeans as a part of their so-called race, nor did Africans, Asians, or anyone else. However, in this current society, the groups have been engineered based on a flawed skin color evaluation system. The system has pushed many people with brown skin into now identifying themselves as a part of a group called the Black race. Now, to add to the isolation and marginalization of this particular group, the idea that this so-called Black race or Black group is unable to or does not know how to be racist is beyond preposterous. I know what many may say. The old false adage, but they do not have any power. How can they be racist if they do not have any power? Again, this is inferior thought. You see, inferior thought is like a parasite that has invaded the body. You may or may not be aware of its presence, but it is making you nonetheless sick and could quite possibly lead to your untimely death. The lack of power that so many speak of is not evident when an analytical look is taken at society and our history. After close observance of history, it would appear that it is more accurate to say that there may be a choice to remain powerless rather than the notion that there is no power. Recognizing where that power lies and tapping into it for one's own benefit should be the goal. Racism has nothing to do with the perception or application of power. The truth is, many very poor, destitute, and powerless so-called white people are deemed as racist. They have no political pull, no judicial power, and no economic advantage over any other groups. In fact, they may even be looked down upon and called trash by many. However, it does not stop their racism. It is simply because they have chosen their artificially assigned groups over all others. They have chosen to believe in an idea. Racism is an idea that any assigned or manufactured group of people can participate in. Any group can teach it to their generations until it becomes a belief system. The question is not whether so-called Black people can be racist. The question is whether so-called Black people should be racist. It is my hope that as we evolve as a species, the inculcated ideas of race dissipate from our brains, that we understand that a peaceful future on this planet is contingent upon our ability to erase the 20th century programming that has led to this toxic dichotomy. Until that dichotomy is destroyed, it is imperative that people of color cease to recognize themselves as inferior and eradicate ideas from the minds of their children. Ideas like black people cannot be racist. Peace.